Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot thank you guys enough for spending some time with me today. In today's video, we're gonna go over the new NFL overtime rules. Is it for better? Is it for worse? And why did this change occur? It's a pretty big switch, so I just wanted to deep dive it a little bit with you guys, walk you through what it actually means. Before we get into that, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please consider giving me a like and subscribe. The support that I get from you guys means the world to me, and it helps me out so very much. I greatly appreciate it. With that done, let's get into this version of Hot Off the Press. We'll start here by reviewing the old rules. Possession is decided by a coin flip. As always, winner of the flip decides to receive or the field direction. If the first team to get the ball scores a touchdown, that's it. The game is over. And if the first team to get the ball doesn't score a touchdown, they're held to either a field goal or are forced to punt. The game goes to sudden death and the next score wins. Now, why did this change exactly occur? The rule was changed due to the lopsided winning percentage of teams who get the ball first, and this is important, in the postseason. In the regular season, it's actually fairly close to 50-50 as far as a winning percentage for both teams. But in the last 12 postseason games since the initial change, and thank you Minnesota Vikings, by the way, the team winning the coin toss has won 10 out of those 12 games, and 7 out of those wins came on the very first possession of the extra period. Now, I know that this is a small sample size, but it is the only one that exists, so we have to run with it. There is no doubt in my mind that a change needed to happen, and I actually mentioned a change being necessary in my Chiefs-Bills Relentless Rundown after that divisional round. Now, clearly, the NFL watched my video, they heard me, and they made the adjustment. Now to the new rules. First and foremost, I do applaud the NFL for taking action here. The joint proposal, which was submitted by the Eagles and the Colts, guarantees that both teams will get the ball at least once in the overtime period. 24 votes were needed to amend the previous rule, and 29 voted in favor of it, with the Dolphins, the Bengals, and my Vikings voting against. Now, why they decided to say no thanks, the world may never know. This is a permanent change. It is not something they're gonna merely test out to see if it works. And it applies solely to postseason games. Once both teams get the ball, the game goes to sudden death, just like in the previous rule. Now, there is a possibility that if these changes are successful down the line, they could eventually be implemented into the regular season as well. And I think that even though this is not a perfect fix, it is much better than where we were, without a doubt. Were there other proposals in play that could have been selected instead? Why, yes, I'm glad you asked. Another proposal that was brought to the table that did not pass was one where the team getting the ball first can score, and then if they convert a 2-point conversion, they win the game. Now, that one was rejected. This is an interesting concept, and I would have preferred this to what we had previously, but I personally like the OT rules that were passed better because I believe that each offense should get a chance with the ball in a game where their season is on the line. Now, why did they just do this for the postseason? Why did the regular season rules remain the same? I believe that this change occurred in the postseason only for a couple reasons. One is player safety and the amount of snaps the players already take. I'm sure the NFL wanted to mitigate more wear and tear on the players, if at all possible, and this allows them to do that. Another is the fact that during the regular season, teams winning the toss are just 86, 67, and 10 in overtime. That is a far cry from the 83% winning percentage of the teams getting the ball first in the playoffs have enjoyed. Finally, this move gives the league a chance to actually take a look at how this change is going to work out before fully implementing it for each and every game. And I like the thought process that they went through to come to this decision. Now, what can we anticipate as far as changes to how overtime is played by each team? Now, I think the biggest change I can see comes from a 2-point conversion being attempted by the team that scores that touchdown first. Now, this would force the second team getting the ball to to score a 2-point conversion of their own, of course, assuming that there is a successful attempt on the first try, and it would stop that second team from being able to win the game if they get the 2-point conversion if the first team just kicked that extra point. I cannot tell you how much I wish this rule would have been in place prior to that Chiefs-Bills game, which is one of the best games that I've ever witnessed. But that game definitely provided the ammunition that was needed to get this change done. Can you imagine getting to see Josh Allen taking the field one more time there against the Chiefs? His performance was nearly flawless in that game, and we as fans were robbed of getting a chance to see him answer Mahomes and Kansas City. It seems like for these type of adjustments to be made, a play or a situation must first happen before action is taken. We look at games like the Rams with that pass interference, call, no call, the Saints Bounty Gate game versus Minnesota, which led, in fact, to the first overtime adjustment. It's understandable, and I get it, but it's also fairly annoying. To finish it off, I really like this change. I believe that it is for the better. When you look at the winning percentage of teams getting the ball first in the playoffs, it was basically a no-brainer. I still believe that there is room for improvement, but both teams getting a chance to possess the ball in overtime rectifies the problem of an exhausted defense taking the field against a rolling offense with no real chance of success. Too often, that is what we've been seeing in the playoffs, recency bias notwithstanding. It adds an even more exciting element, and bottom line, it gives us more football. And isn't that what we all want in the first place? That's all I have for you for the video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you learned something. If you're new to the channel, you haven't done it yet, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the support. It helps me out so very much. Thank you to all my current subscribers out there. You guys are the best. I appreciate the engagement. This is Relentless Press. I'm your host, Abraham Opatz, and we'll see you next time.